Welcome to our deep dive into NLP. You've been researching NLP, it seems, and you're interested in how it can help with goals and relationships.
Yeah.
So think of this as your NLP cheat sheet. We're going to distill those complex ideas into something you can actually use.
Yeah, NLP is fascinating. It offers a unique perspective on growth. It's like a blueprint for rewiring your inner world for success.
That's what's got me so intrigued. One of the things that jumps out is defining your mission in life. More than just goals, it's about uncovering your driving force, right?
Yeah, NLP says your mission should guide all your actions. It's the deep purpose that fuels you and gives your life meaning.
So how do our everyday actions and the roles we play fit into this mission? We can't be everything to everyone.
Right, we all wear lots of hats.
Mm.
Friend, parent, professional, NLP suggests that these roles should align with your mission, so you don't have inner conflict.
It's like trying to force puzzle pieces that don't fit. But how do we determine which roles really matter? NLP has this kidney test concept.
Yeah, it's a powerful way to prioritize relationships. Imagine you need a kidney transplant. Who would you ask? Who would offer you theirs? It shows the difference between casual connections and deep bonds.
Wow, that's heavy, but it makes you think. It highlights the difference between those, you'd go the extra mile for.
Exactly. And by prioritizing those key relationships, you make sure your energy goes to roles that nourish you and your mission.
Okay, so we have a sense of our mission and roles. How does NLP guide us to achieve goals within those areas?
NLP is a specific process for setting goals that's more than just saying what you want. It's defining them positively, specifying evidence of achievement, and considering the consequences, what NLP calls ecology.
We've all set vague goals, like be a better manager. NLP pushes us to get specific, right?
Exactly. What does being a better manager actually look like? What's the evidence? Maybe your team takes initiative, solves problems, or hits targets with enthusiasm.
So it's defining success in a way that's tangible and measurable, not just a fuzzy feeling.
Right. It's like a roadmap with milestones to keep you motivated.
This is sounding less like self-help and more like a system to get things done. And speaking of getting things done, NLP is big on building rapport, which I guess is more than just surface level charm.
It is. Think of rapport as the foundation for any good interaction, personal or professional. It's about creating connection where the other person feels seen, heard, and understood.
But isn't there a risk that focusing too much on rapport comes across as manipulative or insincere?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Authentic rapport is not about sneaky tactics. It's about truly understanding the other person's perspective and finding common ground.
So it's about building trust and mutual respect, not just trying to get a yes.
Exactly. NLP offers some cool insights into how humans interact, particularly through nonverbal communication.
Okay, I'm curious, what are some of those nonverbal secrets? We've all met people who just draw the others in. What's the secret?
One technique is mirroring and matching, reflecting the other person's body language, tone of voice, and even emotional state.
So creating a sense of synchronicity like you're dancing in the conversation?
Exactly. It establishes a comfortable and familiar rhythm, and mirroring often happens unconsciously when we're engaged.
So if we use these techniques consciously, won't it feel forced?
It can if you're clumsy. The key is subtlety. It's not mimicking every move, but aligning your energy with theirs.
Creating harmony like you're on the same wavelength.
Exactly. And there's research on this. Salespeople who mirror their clients do better.
Makes sense. If someone feels like you're on the same page, they're more likely to trust you. Do we have real-world examples?
Absolutely. The research mentions Mary at the National Telephone Company. She found that by matching her speech patterns to her clients, she improved customer satisfaction.
So not changing what she said, but how she said it. Syncing up created a better connection. What's a good takeaway for our listener? Something they can try.
Try mirroring in a low-stakes situation. Match the body language or tone of a friend and see what happens. You might be surprised.
Great challenge. Let's go beyond mirroring and into persuasion, because NLP suggests it's tied to understanding someone's values.
Right. NLP says persuasion isn't about manipulation. It's aligning your message with the other person's values and motivations.
Speaking their language, tapping into what matters.
Yeah, uncovering their internal compass and understanding what drives them.
But how do we do that? We can't just ask, what are your values?
Right. It's about reading between the lines. Noticing the language they use, the things they prioritize, and the stories they tell. Those reveal their values.
So NLP encourages us to be detectives uncovering clues.
It does. It's becoming a more perceptive communicator, tuning into subtle cues.
So how does this understanding translate into persuasion? Can you give us a concrete example?
Absolutely. NLP has this idea of toward and away from motivation. People are driven by seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. Some are motivated by moving toward what they want. Others are driven by moving away from what they don't want.
So if we know which direction someone's compass points towards pleasure or away from pain, we can tailor our message.
Exactly. For example, if someone wants lots of space, you might explore what that means to them. Do they want space for creativity, peace, or for entertaining? Understanding their motivation helps you frame your message to resonate with their desires.
So if someone is motivated by avoiding pain, we might highlight how our product prevents a negative outcome. And if they're driven by pleasure, we might emphasize how it helps them achieve a positive goal.
Precisely. Align your message with their internal compass. Frame it to speak to their motivations and values.
This is cool. It's like cracking the code of human behavior, understanding the drivers behind decisions.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
And NLP offers even more tools to understand thinking and behavior, like thinking strategies.
Thinking strategies. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
What are those and how do they help communication?
Thinking strategies are all about how people process info and make decisions.
Like peeking into someone's mind.
Right.
Exactly. NLP says people have preferred ways of thinking, and understanding those patterns is key for communication.
How do we figure out someone's style? Just ask, are you a visual learner? It's more subtle. NLP practitioners look at eye movements. For example, visual thinkers look up when accessing info.
Uh-huh.
Auditory thinkers might glance sideways, like listening to an internal dialogue. And kinesthetic thinkers focused on feelings might look down.
So if someone uses visual metaphors and looks up, we should use visual language.
Right. The research even gives us phrases, go see the picture, hear our words, get a grasp on.
Speak their language, not just words, but how they process info.
Exactly. This applies to so much, from presentations to tough conversations.
Speaking of tough conversations, your research mentions submodalities, a deeper level of thinking strategies.
Submodalities are the details of our internal representations.
Yeah.
Like if you're visualizing as a big or small, bright or dim.
Adjusting the settings on a mental projector.
Exactly. And by understanding and influencing these, we can make communication more compelling.
So to persuade someone to take a vacation, you'd paint a vivid picture of them on a beach, feeling the sand and hearing the waves.
Exactly. Create an irresistible experience in their mind.
Incredible. NLP doesn't just focus on external communication, does it? There's personal congruence, too, alignment within ourselves. It's connected to self-confidence.
Absolutely. NLP says personal congruence is key.
Yeah.
It's having your thoughts, feelings, and actions all working together.
So if they're aligned, we project confidence.
Exactly. When you're congruent, you don't second-guess yourself. You act decisively and pursue your goals.
But congruence seems hard. Many of us struggle with negative self-talk. How does NLP help us with that?
NLP has tools. One is reframing, finding the positive intention behind negative self-talk and finding new ways to achieve that intention.
So understand where it's coming from.
Exactly. Even critical voices have a positive intention. Maybe they're trying to protect us, motivate us, or help us avoid mistakes.
Can you give an example of reframing?
The research mentions John, who felt like a bad person. He reframed that voice.
So he understood its motivation.
Yes, he realized it was trying to make him aware of how his negativity affected others. It wasn't about making him feel bad, but about being more considerate.
So the voice wasn't bad, just clumsy.
Exactly. John found constructive ways to achieve that goal. He focused on kindness and compassion, which led to better relationships and self-worth.
So reframing turns us from our worst critic to our best advocate.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Turn those negative voices into allies.
Fascinating. What if those voices are stubborn?
Then we use other NLP techniques, like changing the submodalities of the voice.
Submodalities again. We talked about those with persuasion.
Right. They're the details of our internal representations.
Yeah.
And they apply to our thoughts and feelings too.
So if a voice is loud and harsh, we can make it softer and farther away.
Exactly. Change those qualities to change the emotional impact.
Taking control of the sound mixing board in our minds.
Yes. We have the power to shape our inner world.
All this talk about inner voices reminds me of affirmations. How do they fit in? They don't always seem to work.
You're right. Affirmations can be tricky. NLP says they work best when they align with our beliefs and values.
So affirming something we don't believe will backfire.
It might. Like trying to convince yourself you love broccoli when you hate it.
So start with believable affirmations and phrase them to match our thinking style, using visual language for visual thinkers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And state them in the present tense, like they're already true.
I am confident instead of I will be confident.
Exactly. Create momentum, not just wishful thinking.
This is insightful, but I'm curious about how NLP deals with fears and phobias. They can be so powerful.
They can, but NLP has techniques to overcome them. One is the fast phobia cure, using dissociation to change our emotional response.
Dissociation, like stepping outside our experience with perceptual positions.
Similar, with phobias, it's separating ourselves from the experience like watching a movie.
So we create distance.
Exactly. That reduces the emotional charge.
Sounds effective, but complex. How does it work?
Identify the trigger. Then imagine watching a black and white movie of yourself in that situation.
So change how we experience it.
Right. And rewind the movie. Notice how the intensity lessens.
Rewiring our emotional response.
Exactly. And finally, imagine floating back into your body, feeling calm.
Creating a new emotional baseline.
Precisely. It often works quickly. But it's best to work with a qualified NLP practitioner for deep-seated issues.
That makes sense. But knowing the basics is empowering.
Absolutely. It's about choosing how we respond.
This reminds me of another concept, anchoring. Can you explain that?
Anchoring links an emotional state with a touch word or gesture, like Pavlov's dogs, but triggering confidence instead of salivation.
Uh-huh.
And we can create anchors to access desired states.
Tell me how to create these anchors.
Identify the desired state,
Yeah.
then recall a vivid memory of that state.
Immerse ourselves in the memory.
Yes. And as you feel it, choose a touch word or gesture to be your anchor.
So create a mental link.
Yes. The more you repeat it, the stronger it gets.
Like a shortcut to access that feeling.
Exactly. Like having a secret weapon.
Incredible NLP offers so much. It's like having the keys to our minds.
It does. And we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
But let's recap what we've learned.
Okay. We've learned that NLP helps build confidence, overcome negative self-talk, and even phobias.
We've explored reframing submodality shifts, the fast phobia cure, and anchoring, all ways to rewire our minds.
NLP empowers us to be the architects of our minds.
It's realizing we have more control than we think. And that's liberating.
What stands out to you most?
The interplay between inner and outer transformation NLP says that mastering our inner world impacts our outer world.
As within, so without.
Exactly. And that's where we'll leave it for now. Stay tuned for the final part where we'll explore even more.
We've uncovered so much about NLP and how it can change our inner world. Now I'm curious about how to actually use these tools to get stuff done in real life.
That's the cool part about NLP. It's not just about feeling good, but about making positive changes.
So where should we focus? Where can NLP help us make progress?
One area is breaking bad habits, like procrastination, negative self-talk, or even unhealthy eating.
We've all got those. But how does NLP help us break them? It's more than willpower, right?
Yeah. NLP has a technique called the swish pattern. It's like hitting the mental reset button.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about the swish pattern.
First, you identify the bad habit and what you want to do instead. So let's say you want to stop hitting snooze and start working out in the morning.
Classic struggle. So we replace the bad habit with a good one.
Right. Visualize yourself hitting snooze, feeling groggy.
Ugh, I can practically feel the covers.
And now in the corner of that image, create a small picture of yourself working out, feeling energized.
Like a preview of my best self.
Now the swish. Imagine that small picture getting bigger and brighter while the snooze picture fades away, like a mental movie montage.
Rewiring our brains to enjoy the new behavior.
Exactly. Repeat this, making the swish faster each time, like building a new pathway in your brain.
This sounds way more fun than using willpower.
It is. It's working with your mind. Let's talk about limiting beliefs, those things that hold us back.
You're right on. We all have those voices saying, I'm not good enough or I'll never succeed. How does NLP help with that?
NLP has the belief change pattern. It puts those beliefs on trial, examining the evidence to see if they're true.
Like we're detectives gathering facts.
Exactly. Let's say you believe, I'm not creative. First, explore where that came from. When did you start believing it? What happened?
Maybe I was discouraged from art as a kid, and I thought, I'm not creative.
Common. Now, what evidence contradicts that? Have you been creative even in small ways? Maybe a clever idea at work or a new recipe?
I never thought of those as creative, but yeah, they are.
Right. By focusing on those, you weaken the old belief and create space for a new one.
Shifting from limitations to possibilities.
Exactly. And NLP uses visualization and other techniques to make this change last.
It's like breaking free from mental chains.
This leads to another NLP concept, modeling. Studying successful people to see how they do it.
Like reverse engineering success, learning from the best and adapting it.
NLP says anyone can achieve excellence by modeling.
Give me an example. Let's say I want to be a better public speaker.
Okay, think of someone amazing at it, like Barack Obama or Oprah Winfrey.
They're both incredible.
Now observe them closely, how they structure speeches, their voice and body language, how they connect emotionally.
So understand the principles and adapt them.
Exactly. Find what resonates with you and practice it. It's a blueprint for success that you customize.
This whole deep dive has been amazing. We've learned so much. It feels like a toolkit for growth.
It is. And I hope you feel empowered. NLP says we're not victims. We can choose our thoughts and create the life we want.
Powerful message. The journey never ends. There's always more.
NLP is a path, not a destination. And it helps us evolve into our best selves.
To our listener, keep exploring and pushing your boundaries.
Because with NLP, you have the power to create a better life.
That wraps up our NLP adventure. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something valuable. Until next time, keep diving deep and reach for your potential.